Hello, welcome back. So in today's video lessons, we're going to study how to graph radical functions. Okay, radicals. If you remember, radicals are square root, cube root, fourth root, fifth root. Okay, but for our lesson, we're just going to study square root and cube root functions. So this is activity 25, page 387 of your book. Okay, so let's just make a short review of what we have graphed so far since the start of the school year. Okay, so what functions do we know how to graph? So we know that we graph lines or linear functions. So a line could lean to the left, to the right. It could be a horizontal line or a vertical line. Okay, I hope you remember that. And then we studied the absolute value functions. Okay, so y equals absolute value of x, and this is the graph of v. Okay, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and on the other side. Then we graph quadratic functions, a parabola. Okay, y equals x squared. And then recently we graphed polynomial functions. Up, 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 down. I hope you remember how to graph this. Okay, and then now recently we graph exponential function. It could be a decay or it could be a growth. Okay, when the base is bigger than 1, it's a growth. When it is less than 1 but greater than 0, it's a decay, and there is an horizontal asymptote. Now, the last topic was logarithmic functions. Okay, so you know that there is a vertical asymptote, and if your base is bigger than 1, then it's like this. It's shaped like this. If the base is smaller than 1 but greater than 0, it is like this. And these two are inverse functions. Okay, so these two are inverse functions. You just invert the x and the y. Okay, so now we're going to study how to graph square root functions and cube root functions. So let's study the parent graph first. Okay, so parent graph of the square root is f of x equals square root of x, square root function. So let's do our x and y table first until we know the shape of our graph. Then we will learn how to transform them. So let's give any values for x and let's see if it will fit our function. So if we substitute -4, square root of -4, that is not real, that's 2i, right? So that is 2i, that is not real. We cannot graph that. Okay, it's not real. Here, square root of -3, neither. That's not real also. Square root of -2, not real. Square root of -1 is I, not real. Okay, so we still cannot graph. So maybe you could already see that these are not part of the domain. Okay, domain we cannot have a graph on the left side here. We can only start from 0 to positive infinity. Okay, so square root of 0, now we're starting to get values. 0, square root of 1 is 1, square root of 2, okay, square root of 3, this is I think 1.4, 1.7, now square root of 4 is a whole number, is 2. Okay, we can give more values. Let's give some perfect squares. Okay, so let's say 9. We could give 5, 6, but those will be decimals. So this will be square root of 9 is 3. Or 16, our next perfect square. So square root of 16 will be 4. Okay, but 16 is already all the way there. So let's just start with 0. Let's graph only the whole numbers, okay? So when x is 0, y is 0, we start here. When x is 1, y is 1. When x is 4, y is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will be 2. And when x is 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, y will be 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So if you notice, okay, so we also have instead, so this is actually the inverse of a parabola, right? Okay, so it's not okay, it's the inverse of y equals x squared. It is 1/2 of that, okay, because it's positive and negative. So the points you remember in the parabola is 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. Okay, instead of 2, 4, it became 4, 2, and 3, 9. It became 9, 3. So we made our x our y, and our y our x. So this, the inverse of square root functions, is the quadratic function. Okay, actually it's only part of it because the other is here. Okay, but we're only getting, this is the inverse of y. You remember, if we have, okay, x squared, okay, x squared, we will have, if we have a square root of that, that would be plus square root of x and minus square root of x. Okay, so the inverse of that will be, oh no, plus x and minus x. Okay, so you're going to get only the positive parts. Okay, so this is the graph of f of x equals y equals square root of x. That's our parent graph. Okay, f of x equals square root of x. Okay, so now let's study this. Our domain will be from 0 to positive infinity. Our range is also from 0 to positive infinity. Our x and y axis is the same. Our x and y intercept is the point 0, 0. Let's have a parabola opening to the right. Okay, now let's try to graph this one. Can you do this? And I'll see you on the next video. Cube root of x. Give values and graph it.